I'm working on a cosplay project again today. I'm going to be picking up some more work on my helmet. It's time to epoxy it and start sealing it to get rid of all of the cracks so that it'll look like a solid piece when it's done. Can't wait to show you the process. See you in a little bit.
The first step of today's process was supposed to be adding these accessory pieces to my helmet, and then I realized that they were a little too big, so it was time to make some changes. I do not need to make a large adjustment, but when making any adjustments on 3D prints with a sander, it leaves a lot of mess and you have to clean it up from multiple different directions, which can be slow and tedious sometimes, but this is basically what the visual process looks like. Let's test it out and see if it was worth it. Look at that, now it fits just like a glove. Next step is to attach our accessory piece on with some gloop. Be very liberal with this, but remember that it dries really fast, so you have to move quickly. Just let it set for a few minutes and you'll be ready for your next step. I guess it's taping time, dun dun dun. This is a very tedious part of this process. For every single piece you have to go through and cover all of the cracks with painter's tape so that when you pour the epoxy in to fill any of the crevices, it won't leak through to the other side and create extra sanding for you later. Once you have everything put into place, it's going to look a little bit like this. Now that all the cracks are covered, we can start moving on to carbon fiber. You need to cut even strips that are the width of the crack you are trying to fill and at least 1 inch past that crack on each side. Once your strips are cut, it is time to start sanding. And oh boy, is this my least favorite part of the process. But you need to create a grippy surface for your glue to attach to, so it's important. Now it's time to make our epoxy. The type of epoxy that we're going to be using comes in 2 parts, and you have to mix it equally between the 2. Once you have pretty equal measurements, you can start your stirring process, and the epoxy doesn't harden as quickly as the gloop does, so you can take your time with mixing and spreading this. Once you are ready, you can start placing the epoxy where it is needed. Make sure you fill all the cracks and cover all the surfaces so that the carbon fiber can stick properly. Once your spaces are full, it's time to start adding carbon fiber. You have to be careful about where you place the carbon fiber because once it dries, it's extremely sharp, so you want it to be flat and smooth. After you have it where you want it, you just have to wait for it to dry.
It was really nice to get all that epoxy work done on the helmet. You can only do one section at a time because it has a tendency to run and the epoxy gets kind of everywhere. So it takes 24 hours for that to dry. It's gonna be a little while. We'll see how that goes. I can't wait to show you the rest on next cosplay day. Thank you for joining me.